Hi, welcome to Crisco's Corner. Proud to live in the greatest country in the world. Unfiltered opinions, no PC discussion here. Agree, disagree, hate it, love it, it's all good. Sit back and enjoy some unfiltered commentary. We discuss politics, culture, interviews, and more. Your comments are always welcome. Please help the channel by hitting that subscribe button. Doesn't cost a thing. And as always, thanks for your support. Hi, folks. Welcome back. Is the United States falling apart? When I mean falling apart, I mean the ideology of the left and the right now are so far apart that they can't coexist. And what would that bring? Well, let's look at some things that are going on now instead of predicting, and then we'll talk about maybe future developments. AOC, others push for apparent blacklist of people who work with Trump. There's no apparent. A Trump accountability project has been started to hold responsible those who received the paycheck from the administration. Received the paycheck from the American people. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and others have encouraged the creation of an apparent blacklist of people who helped President Trump during his time in office. I don't care who it is. To be asked to work in the White House is quite an honor. Is anyone archiving these Trump sycophants for what did they try to downplay or deny their complicity in the future? You make them sound like they're the concentration camp guards at Auschwitz. This is nuts. This is what I'm talking about. The ideologies are so far apart now. And I don't think that the people center-right and right have gone really right at all. In fact, they've gone a hair left. It's the left. It's the progressives and the leftists that have gone so far left and finally showed their true colors. That's why this gap is widening and widening. The progressive congresswoman asked on Friday, I foresee decent probability of many deleted tweets, writings, photos in the future. Oh, you mean of all the Joe Biden potential cabinet heads that deleted tens of thousands of their tweets to cover their behinds? Oh, okay. In apparent response to criticism, she tweeted, laugh out loud at the party of personal responsibility, being upset at the idea of being responsible for their behavior over the past 4 years. You make fun of an ideology about personal responsibility. Just think about that for a minute. How far off the cliff do you have to be? I call these people flat earthers. In posts that were marked unavailable, 2 Democrat operatives responded by touting the Trump Accountability Project, which seeks to prevent Trump associates from profiting off their time helping his administration. Now look what these psychopaths are doing. They're trying to steal an election, and now they're already drawing up purge and enemies lists. Imagine how they'll govern and censor. Unbelievable. The Trump Accountability Project will be a permanent record of every staffer, appointee, donor, endorser, and enabler. Well, you know what? I gave some money online to the Trump campaign. Come after me, dude. Local progressives have already destroyed my business anyway. You know, there's nothing more dangerous than people that have nothing to lose, you idiot. The tweets came from Emily Abrams, a former aide to presidential candidate Pete Buttigieg. Oh, what a shocker. And Michael Simon, who worked for Barack Obama's 2008 presidential campaign. Another shocker. What's the E-Trade, baby? Where's my shock face? We should welcome in our fellow Americans who we differ politically, the group's website reads. But those who took a paycheck from the Trump administration should not profit from the efforts to tear apart our democracy. Not tearing apart anything. We are a nation of laws, pure and simple. Pure and simple. Washington Post columnist Jennifer Rubin appeared to support the idea, tweeting that Republicans should be banned from polite society if they challenge the election in certain ways. In other words, this is the way it is. We can talk about the F word here on YouTube. You can't, F-R-A-U-D, but there's tons of oddities and anomalies. Tens of millions of unsolicited ballots. And not just that, we'll say the whole thing was on the up and up. And every single ballot that came in by mail was legitimate. They sure as hell acted like they were guilty. Putting cardboard on windows so the vote counters can't be watched by poll watchers? Come on. They acted like they were guiltier than hell. Putting up posters, and I've seen them all over the big cities of Democratic candidates listed right on the building of the door where you walk in to vote. And of course, they leave them up until somebody calls them on it, and then they remove them. No penalty. Any Republican not promoting rejection of election or not calling to not to follow the will of voters or making baseless allegations of fraud should never serve in office. Join a corporate board, find a faculty position, and be accepted in polite society. We have a list, she tweeted. Polite society, that's the society that you're in. Hari Sevagan, a former spokesman for the National Democratic Committee and for President Obama, indicated he was part of the Accountability Project. Another shocker. You better believe it. We just launched the Trump Accountability Project to make sure anyone who took a paycheck to help Trump undermine America is held responsible for what they did. Undermine America. Enforcing the laws that are currently there. Lowering taxes, lowering regulations. You might not like the policies. You might disagree with the policies. That's fine. That's a different issue. But to undermine America, the lowest unemployment of all time for blacks and Hispanics since the existence of the country. That's undermining? No, what was undermining was you were losing your grip on minorities because they were seeing that the tax policies and the deregulation was causing huge economic gains in their communities. And you panicked. And you saw you were losing them. Because you lose them, the Democrat Party is finished. You better believe it. He told Ocasio-Cortez on Twitter, we just launched the Trump Accountability Project to make sure we took a paycheck. Yeah, we just covered that. Now, this is just going to be part of what's going on here. We're going to cover next a GOP member in Texas is calling for basically secession. Here's the thing. I think people on the right, and I used to be a Democrat. I consider a huge Trump supporter. I'm going to say so up front. Yeah, he's got his issues, but I loved his policies. And that's fine. He wants to be arrogant and bombastic. I don't care. You know, Americans are a little cocky anyway in the world stage, so I really don't mind that. The fact of the matter is, though, people on the right are willing to compromise. They had in the Oval Office the biggest deal maker in the history of the world, basically, at least in the United States. They try to make a deal with them? No. Because you agree with every single thing that the progressives and leftists want and push for, their ideology. If you take one item out of 50, you are their enemy. They are unwilling to compromise. They are unwilling to bend. They're unwilling to give 1 millimeter. And that will be their doom.